Recently, a groundbreaking paper was released in the European Journal for Chemistry, tracing the intertwined history of cannabis and humanity through millennia, proving that the plant's incredible legacy in fiber, nutrition, medicine, spirituality, and of course, pleasure. Authors Gabriel Vidor de Lima Marquez and Renata Barbosa de Oliveira from the Federal University of Minas Gerais, I know I butchered that one, in Brazil, has given us eye-opening account of cannabis's use dating back approximately 10,000 years. It seems our ancestors in the ancient Mesopotamia, China, and Kazakhstan knew the value of hemp fibers long before prohibitionists figured out scare tactics. They used this wonder plant for ropes, sails, clothing, and even facilitating the capture of fish, showing that cannabis is indeed the OG multi-purpose resource. The authors note, cannabis is possibly the first plant to be cultivated for non-food purposes. They also highlighted its consumption for psychological effects, tracing back around 3,000 years. As described in the Vedas, cannabis has seen as a heavenly drop, bringing joy and freedom to its users, acting as a therapeutic and spiritual tool in ceremonies ranging from weddings to significant religious festivals. This meticulous research challenges the misguided views of cannabis prohibitionists who get every chance they get, weave tales scarier than Delta 8 nerd ropes. People like Kevin Sabet of Smart Approaches to Marijuana, or SAM, who wrote in a 2011 op-ed, the key difference between alcohol and drug prohibition lies in the substance itself. Alcohol, unlike illegal drugs, has a long history of widespread accepted use in society, dating back to before biblical times. Illegal drugs cannot claim such a persuasive use by a large part of the planet's population over such a period of time. Well, the new paper counters explaining that Semitic people knew about the psychoactive properties of cannabis centuries before the Christian era, employing it in various forms of ailments and sickness of the spirit. The study dives deep into the chasm between historical facts and the modern war on drugs. It illuminates how ancient communities revered cannabis, utilizing it for a plethora of applications, including pain relief, anti-inflammation, appetite stimulation, and treatments for various diseases. Well, it's fun to poke at the sometimes irrational fears prohibitionists propagate, especially with their favorite "what about the kids" holiday Halloween approaching. It's crucial to acknowledge the paper doesn't advocate for a political position on legalization. However, it does shed light on the global movements towards legalization and decriminalization in various jurisdictions. In recent years, there's been a seismic shift with countries like Canada, Uruguay, and states within the U.S. legalizing cannabis, while others have authorized its medical use. And as we continue to explore and understand the cannabis plant's potential, its role in contemporary medicine becomes even more significant. With recent studies highlighting the synergy of cannabinoids and the promising future of genetically engineered hemp. So as Halloween approaches and the air gets thick with tales of cannabis sneaking into your kids' treats, let's remember the long-standing, respectful relationship humans have had with this plant for thousands of years. It's not the cannabis plants that's spooky, it's the misinformation. Let's continue to explore, understand, and respect this ancient plant that's been a part of human culture for well-being a millennia. This is Stone signing off for the High at 9 News. Stay informed and stay high.
Yeah, the history of this plant, if you don't know about it, is so interesting. I mean, the Chinese have been using it therapeutically and medicinally for thousands of years. There's many cultures that have it in their ceremonies and in their rituals. So this is not something that like we just discovered. I know the U.S. wants to come in the 1700s and think the world started then, and we get to point at trees and plants and birds and say outlaw, prohibition on God's creations. But other more civilized countries and civilizations looked and viewed this plant in the way that it should have been looked and viewed as, in a medicinally and a therapeutically valuable botanical. I mean, I love it, and I think it's really awesome that we can go back and look at some of these. It's not coming for your kids. It can actually help your kids, especially if your kids have ailments that a lot of the pharmaceutical companies will just keep pumping stuff that doesn't fix it. It's a Band-Aid. So it's awesome. I'm with it. I love the history behind it, and I think people should learn about it and know that it's not the dangerous boogeyman that's coming around the corner to come steal your kids' innocence.
It's amazing to me how much prohibition has impacted, anybody's knowledge about it. I mean, I have conversations with my parents who are in their early 70s, and their minds are just absolutely blown because accessibility to any kind of information about this was nothing but you're going to die or it's going to hurt you or change your life somehow in this drastically bad way. And, I said it before, I'll say it again. We're always going to be educators for the rest of our entire lives. Our generation will be charged with teaching people about the history of this plant and the future potential of this plant as well.
Mm-hmm. I guarantee that Mexican alien that they found last month smoked weed.
Yeah, of course. Ole.
But was his weed out of this world, Rico?
No, it was just Alien Labs.
Oh. Oh, yeah. And shout out to Ted. I saw Ted last night from Alien Labs. There was a little event over at the Astor Club here in L.A. And shout out to my buddy Shaggy. And, oh, yes, Blazy Susan had a little event with Shaggy's Papers and the launch of Chris Brown's new weed.
Okay.
Yes.
Another
Yes.
celebrity brand for you guys.
I wonder if this one's going to make it.
Chris Brown's going to be bussing on y'all.
I'm smoking this because Chris Brown does.
Yeah, 100%.
Can't wait to try it.
Yeah.